Hello and welcome to Responsible Government Contracting, where we dispel misconceptions, bring understanding to the acquisition process, and educate small businesses to engage responsibly in public sector contracting. In this episode, we'll go through some first steps. How do you register your company, and a step-by-step guide of what websites and what information you will need to be successful. Thank you everyone for joining. Today we're going to start off our series by showing you how to actually register your company. Whether you've done business or just starting out, we're going to show you how to register your company to do business with the federal government. Some of those steps are the same that you would have done with commercial business if you're just starting out a company from the get-go. And then there are some additional steps that you have to do in order to register with the government. You need what's called a CAGE code. You need the IRS tax ID number, the employer identification number. An additional step, maybe you have a Dun & Bradstreet number already, maybe you don't, but that's one thing that you'll need. And then actually going to the sam.gov website. So I'm going to actually show you those websites and walk you through step by step of what you need to do to get there. So let's dig right in. All right, so we're going to have to jump right in to keep this under 20 minutes. So a website that I found helpful is the National Association for Secretaries of State. So you can go directly to your Secretary of State's website. And again, that's your state. That's not the federal government. So go to your Secretary of State. We're going to use Florida and Texas as examples here. If you scroll down, you just find your state. It'll take you straight to your Secretary of State's website. In this case, Florida. We're going to go to SunBiz down there in the middle on the left. And you'll see the link, Start a Business with e-filing. You can do everything online. It's critical as you go through this process to remember and to screen capture specific information. You're going to need potentially to contact an attorney and a CPA or a finance person to help guide you and advise you on which type of structure. Right here on the Secretary of State for Florida, you're going to pick whether it's a limited liability company, a profit, nonprofit. You can do everything online. So in this case, it's I think Florida is $125 for the initial filing fee. And there it is right there, $125 required filing fees. You can get additional certifications and certified copies if you desire. But again, important, make sure you capture and remember specifically the address that you put in. We'll talk about that again in a second. That's going to matter because the IRS is going to match your state registration with their IRS registration. So make sure you keep that information. Let's go back to the NASS and find Texas. Texas, just each state is different. So Texas, when you're doing your name check to make sure that nobody else has the name of your company, they actually have a $1 fee for each business name search that you do. So you'll find each state's a little bit different in what they require and what their paperwork is. So just be prepared, be flexible, know your state. Again, understand which state you need to register in. Typically, it's the company headquartered location where the company is headquartered. That's the state that you're going to register in. But again, you might want to consult with an attorney on this, as I am not an attorney. So in this case, for Texas, it's SOS Direct. You log in, give your credit card information again, because there's that $1 fee to check names. And I've done this myself, so it works just fine. When you know what you're looking for, a very user-friendly website. There's not a single website. Again, each state is its own website. Once you do that, then you go to get an IRS employer identification number. That's the IRS EIN. Note that the website is only open up there on the top Monday through Fridays from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you go to this website on the weekends, you're not going to be able to register. Remember, I said before, remember exactly the company name and how you spelled it. Capitalization matters, abbreviation matters. Make sure you use exactly the same nomenclature that you use both for the address and the company name. Next up, we're on to Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet is a third-party company. They will charge you if you want to pay for their services. Think your credit score as an employee, as an individual. So Dun & Bradstreet does that same types of services, but they charge a fee for companies. You do not have to pay for Dun & Bradstreet to get a DUNS number to do business with the federal government. Just make sure you go to the website, fedgov.dnb.com, and I'll put that up on the website. Once you have all that done, you're going to go to SAM. Note that this is sam.gov, not betas.sam.gov. So there are two different websites. To register a company, you're going to go to sam.gov. You're going to do a login.gov. You have to put in your email address. This is a relatively new thing over the past year or so, that you have to get a third application or a phone call or some other third step or second step verification to make sure you are who you say you are. So each time you log into the website, you're going to have to get that phone call or that authenticator app on your phone just to make sure you are who you are. Then you're going to go through the website, log in, read through the disclaimer, click accept. This is obviously my login. When you get to this point, you've registered with the state, you've registered with the IRS, you have a Dun & Bradstreet number, you have a DUNS number. You're going to click there for new entity registration, and then just click down there for start registration. This, bring your coffee, bring a good book, because you need to pay attention to this. It's a whole lot of questions about your company, about the formation of your company. Make sure that your company name and company address match exactly with what you told the Secretary of your state and the IRS to make sure that everything matches. If it doesn't, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to get rejected, and then you're going to have to go back to whatever agency, whether it's the IRS or Dun & Bradstreet, to get them to update so that everything matches. That can take weeks. So once you get everything to match, then you're going to go through each of these sections, click the responses that are appropriate for you. I highly encourage you to read the descriptions up at the top. Once you complete that process, note there February 13th, I started this application, verified the login.gov email address. This is what it looks like to confirm on that initial application. You can see that you want to make sure that you're tracking for the no-reply at login.gov. Make sure you're not getting anything in your spam folder, because that you have 24 hours to respond or it kicks you back. Then you're going to get a notification at sam.gov. This was the same day. So the same day I put in for that login, this was the same day I got that initial SAM notification. Then on the 13th also, so all on that same day, got the Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet moved pretty quickly. They turned it right around to issue the DUNS number for this company. And then you can see on the 14th, got another login to check status and submit the registration. So take your time and go through all those questions. Hit the submit button when you're comfortable with everything and that you've provided all the accurate information. Make very, very sure that you're checking your spam folder and your junk folders. You can see there that notification at sam.gov is the email address that these are going to be coming from. These are real live emails from this year, so you can see what the actual process is. SAM is then going to match your IRS information against the information that you provided to them, and then they're going to say, okay, we verified you against the IRS database, we verified you against the Dun & Bradstreet database. Now they're going to send everything over to the Defense Logistics Agency to issue a cage code. That's the last verification step. Once they do that, and you can see this was February 27th. So if everything matches, you can see that this took almost exactly 2 weeks, 14 days from time of initial registration through Dun & Bradstreet, through the IRS, through the Secretary of State, and making sure that everything matched. So now you can see kind of as a summary the step-by-step and the websites that you have to go through. So each Secretary of State, remember, 1, 2, and 3 here. So Secretary of State first up, register where your company's going to be doing business. Register for that employer identification number with the IRS. Make sure you're doing it during normal business hours, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then register for that DUNS number, that Dun & Bradstreet number, that fedgov.dnb, Dave, November, Bravo, Delta, November, Bravo. Make sure you go to that website so you're not going to pay. You don't have to pay for anything in this process except the state registration. So that's the only thing that you should be charged a fee for. There is nothing else that you need to pay for. Do not pay for the Dun & Bradstreet number. Do not pay for an IRS number. If they're asking you for money, then you're on the wrong website. So make sure you double check those websites. Again, so Secretary of State, and then the IRS, and then the Dun & Bradstreet. And then we're going to move on here to the last steps for the beta.sam versus the SAM. Remember, when you're going through that initial registration, you're going to go through the SAM, the System for Acquisition Management. You're going to go to that SAM website, SAM, Sierra Alpha Mike .gov. And then here it is on the second page here, that registration for the login.gov account. You're going to have to do that first. There are some steps here that you have choices, whether you want to download a third-party app onto your phone. Most of them, if you just search in the App Store or in the Play Store, depending on your phone operating system, whether it's the keyword search you want to do here is authenticator. So just do a keyword search in your app store for authenticator and make sure you pick one that's approved by the government on this website. You can also, if you don't want to do it through your phone, you can also get a verification phone call. I've done that, and what it is as soon as you log in, the system will give you an automated phone call from a random phone number. It'll give you a six-digit number, and you just plug that in to the website, and that's your verification. That's your second step authentication. So once you get that complete, then you'll be able to log into sam.gov, and remember the steps there. You can search back in the video to go through those steps there, to go through new entity registration, and answer all the questions there to start your application. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to your local PTAC office or the Small Business Administration, or reach out to me directly on my website, www.nc-rgc.com. We'll be conducting future workshops at the HCC InLab or through Strive, and you can always tune into our podcast. Thank you so much.